Hey y'all, welcome to the Pomegranate Grove, and today I am doing a quick run through of the Young Witch Tarot by Natalie Meraki and Bob Smithies. If you want to know more about this particular deck, we did an interview with Natalie on when it was created, how it was created, and why it was created. But I wanted to do a quick run through so you could see all the cards involved. Beautiful little deck. I do love the box. It's got the soft feel. It is amazing. Feels like velvet, but it doesn't look like velvet. I like the colors. I love the sturdiness of it. It's got the red foil. I don't know if you could see it in this light very well, but that's red foil and the magnetic clasp. So it is a very sturdy box. You will not need any extra for your deck to live in, and it's a beautiful little deck. Let me pull it out. I love that it's got the cat in the box, and there's a reason for it. It's a really fantastic surprise. It's adorable. So it comes with a little book that Bob Smithies wrote. It's a pretty thick little book. You can see it's definitely got some things in there. It is well written. It's by Bob Smithies. Well written and beautifully done, and really helps explain the card interpretations without going into keywords. I really like this and recommend that you read it when you get it. So, Bob Smithies did all of the wording, the writing, and the poems on the cards, and Natalie Meraki redid the coloration of the art. And on some cards, I think mainly just one, she kept it mostly Rider Waite for the entire deck, but the Magician, she put her own slant on it, and it is just beautiful. So each card has these beautiful soft pastel amazing colors to them, and a small poem that doesn't, and I've heard a lot of people say that they don't like words on their tarot cards because it forces an interpretation, but these are small poems to help along with interpretation, especially for a beginner reader. And here on the Fool, it says, "You can't come on my journey. I'm going on my own. I don't know where I'm going, but I'll bring you back a bone." I love that. It's got a lovely sense of humor. It's a beautiful deck. I'm not going to read you every poem because, as Natalie pointed out, that's your magic for when you open the box, the surprise and delight. Here's the Magician, and that's the one she took the slant on, that she made this magician solely her own, using the Rider Waite symbolism, but just totally adorable for a young witch. Here's the High Priestess, and I'm just going to run through this deck. I'm not going to do a lot of talking on it. Um, because we've got the entire interview with Natalie. So someday we'll get Bob on these interviews too. I do love the colors. I like the bold border. I'm forgetting my words today. It's a good thing I'm not going to be talking too much. But I just want to show you all the cards so you can see them. The Emperor or the Azure, the Hierophant, the Chariot, Strength. Keep my thumb out of the way in case you're trying to read. And if you are trying to read these while you look, there's nothing to say that you can't pause the video and take a deeper look. Really love the colors on the Hermit. Ah, that is striking. The Wheel of Fortune. Would like to point out that these cards are plastic. Justice. So they can be slippery. You have to break them in. The Hanged Man. So one way that you can break them in, of course, is using them. You'll want to use these. Death. And another way, Temperance. is you can put them in a plastic bag with some talcum powder and shake it up real good. Just be careful with that because it can affect the glossiness of the cards. They have a very high gloss and they're absolutely gorgeous. The devil. But the plastic can be porous, so it might like suck up some of that talcum. So you'd want to wipe them off well and make sure that it hasn't inhibited the gloss. Of course, if you don't like gloss, that's really good way of cutting the gloss down. The tower. The star. Now she did point out that this is a young witch's tarot, although I do feel that it's really great for beginner tarots and even advanced tarot readers because it's just got a different way of looking at it that I find absolutely gorgeous. But she did clothe most of the characters that are normally naked in the Rider-Waite out of deference to the parents of children who wouldn't want their children to see um, nakedness or nudeness. The sun, it was just courtesy, a courtesy. Judgment. See, they got their little towels and and she didn't like overdress them or anything. She just made it a little more uh easy on the eyes for parents who did not want their children to have nudity. Now, oops, we skipped some because when Natalie and I were talking, we talked about some specific cards. So I had them a little bit out of order, but I've put them in order now. And we have the lovers here. And I'm going to read you the lovers. It says, in the garden, we will find two young adults, hearts entwined, with angel guidance from above to teach them how to fall in love. So I really love the way that he worded these. They're beautiful, beautiful poems. Then we've got the moon. It was out of order. So while all of you were screaming, Sharon, where's the lovers? Where's the moon? they were just, they were shown earlier when I spoke to Natalie and they were out of order. I'm glad I caught that. Um, and then we have the world. And see how she's got her little towel wrapped around her. And she's got all the symbolism, everything still prevalent. And these are in a strange order to me. I'm used to having them by suit, but Natalie actually put them by number as far as the rest of them. So we're going to look at all the aces, and each little ace actually ties in with its individual poem about beginnings and what kind of beginning it could be. Cups. So I'm just going to show them to you and run through them. And the swords. And how about that? I did not even notice this earlier. I love that that diversity is involved. They didn't just use the white skin. They have the diversity of the human race. How beautiful is that? The very this deck has so much attention to detail, so much attention to things that were missing in the Rider-Waite. She did take a few different changes and slants on that, but I find them, the detail that she put into these, into the book, into the bag, everything is just fantastic. So we've got the twos here. I love the colorations on him. I like that cloak. On the swords, you can see all the land, the rocks behind her, how rocky that water is. The threes. I love the use of colors on these. And she talks about the three in the interview. If you'd like to catch that interview, it's under Deck of the Week, and we'll put a link to that up down below so that you can see that video as well. On the fours. Just want everybody to be able to take a look at all of the cards and see how beautiful this deck is. I'm going to read you this Four of Swords. He says, I've done too much. I'm all worn out. I'm ready for my bed. I am not ill, just laying still, resting my weary head. Nice. Fives. And the poetry really adds. The poetry and the coloration, they did such beautiful teamwork with this particular deck. You can see that they put their hearts into it. Five of Swords. I want to see what he has to say. This is the guy who needs to win, no matter who gets harmed. Beware, you might be taken in. Forewarned is now forearmed. So it's not that they didn't try to make this a happy fluffy deck so that children wouldn't realize that there can be some harshness in the world. They're actually showing some of the harshness. They're just trying to show it as advice and what to do. There we go. Six of Pentacles. She was talking about the waterproofing of these. Because young adults and children, and even us, these long in the tooth adults, do have some accidents. Your cards will not be harmed. She said one of her friends dropped their whole thing of Coca-Cola onto the deck, and it was fine. It just wiped right off. And this is good too, because if you do want to give it to a younger child to help them develop their intuition at a young age, they can color on these and wipe them off, with crayons, not magic markers. I don't know how well magic markers would wipe off, but they're very sturdy. They don't tear at easily at all. And Natalie did say on some instances when they were bent bent completely in half. I'm not going to do that to my cards because everything in my head screams against it. But she said that they're pretty good at going back into place, that they do not stay damaged. So I'm sure if you really tried very hard to damage them, you could, but normal wear and tear and even beyond normal wear and tear, they can stand up to. And for plastic, I'd say they're fairly thick. I don't know if you can see the thickness of these, but it's not like some of those terribly thin cards where you feel like there's no substance to them. They have a good weight and substance. I love the colors in this Eight of Swords. It makes it feel more alive. The Nine, beautiful. Oh, that was. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got confused for a second there. I was like, wait a minute. I'm doing Pentacles. Why is the Nine of Cups? And I just told y'all that they're in numerical order, but it throws me for a loop. So just know when you open the box, they're in numerical order. It's a different way of doing it, but I kind of like it. Look at that rainbow, the soft pastels. It's like she uses the color to show whether a card is harsh or gentle. She did a really great job. See right there, you can see that harshness. She did beautifully. Oh, and see, look, she even put the. Now, some people will say that that's more of his cloak, and other people will say that that's the only card that has blood in it. It depends on how you look at it, really. We're on to the courts. There's my baby, my favorite card. She did him justice. I love her colors she used for him. The Page of Wands. Page of Swords. Knight of Pentacles. Oh, wow. Yeah, that softness to that Knight of Cups. Beautiful. And I like the way that she colored the wands tunics with the I guess those are polka dots, but they're not uniform, so maybe they're just dots, but that's really good. And see how she caught the detail of the butterflies and the birds and the little heart on the Knight of Swords? I just get such a tickle that he looks like the bravest and the most active knight, but he's taken the time to dress his horse up so pretty. Queen, oh yeah, you can really see her bunny. That bunny pops. Queen of Cups, the rocks at her feet. She has blue socks on. Queen of Wands. Her little clasp is a kitty cat. The Queen of Swords. And finally to the kings. Got that King of Pentacles. King of Wands with his little lizard. That's one of my favorite features in any deck. If that lizard's missing in the King of Wands, I just feel so empty. Ooh, I really like the colors for this King of Swords. That is just beautiful contrast. And then our King of Cups. And again, I just wanted this to be a quick run through. If you'd like to know more about the deck, go ahead and listen to our interview with Natalie. She was very gracious and spent quite a bit of time with us to let us know how this deck came about and what she wanted to achieve with it. It was a great, great interview, and we had a lot of fun. So thank you for watching the run through, I'll call it, and we hope to see you soon. Bye now.